So when we're doing this butterfly here, just make sure that your hand, if you were to stop your hand, for instance, if I was going sideways, if I were to stop my hand, it would almost be a bounce. It would almost like the chuck would hit my arm right here. So make sure that the butterfly is nice and flat like this. And then the moment it passes that 12 o'clock line, your hand pushes forward. And then the moment right before this hits your hand, you push the other hand forward and do the exact opposite. And then the moment before this one hits, then we go back again. And just see if you can kind of keep your hand within the chuck distance. And so what I mean is, like, this hand is going to be back by the end of this chuck, and then the other hand is going to be back by the end of that chuck. So it'll just be like boom, boom. So it'll be like here, boom. Wait, let's go a little slower here. Here. Boom, boom, boom. The slower you can go with this, the better. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. That's looking a little bit better, but careful you don't chase them. Like, careful they're not going off timing. They should always be spinning at the same speed like this. Okay. So whenever in doubt, just, yeah, make sure they go back to that same speed and go punch, punch, punch. Well, more like a very light push, really. You can see my hands are moving very slowly. It's a very, very slow movement here, because we're not trying to speed the chucks up at all. If the chucks speed up when we push through it, we'll lose the timing of it. And you can always see whenever I stop or whenever I move it back, they're still doing that same butterfly motion. So just always keep that in mind. Even though it totally feels like these are moving in different speeds or positionings, they're always in the same. It's always the same like that. So it gives you options. You could literally thread the needle and then just stop it, so we can go into a different technique by exchanging out. With that said, do you remember your stalls? The stall pattern we were working on too?
Which, this one,
I think we were doing this one, and then we were doing a butterfly, and then the left hand was gonna reach over and stall out here. So then we turn to the side, we swing it over into a 3-beat weave over here.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Good, how's that feel to you?
It feels a little slow at first. I haven't done that one in a minute, but I've got it. I still remember it.
Okay, good. I think your
stall
from the
stall to the 3-beat is probably my most difficult. Going from the stall into the 3-beat.
Yeah, I think you're stalled. Try stalling with your other hand over, because right now what's happening is you're going here and you're stalling, and then you're turning to the same direction of the stall, which usually what I usually do is stall to the opposite side and turn to the opposite way that it's stalled, so I can engage and throw in, like, go right into it.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be a stall with your right. Yeah, it'd be a stall with your right on this particular one. See if that helps. There you go. There you go. You see how it kind of revs you right into that a little bit easier? The other one, if you stall to the side that you turn, then your arms are going to be twisted up. See how my arms are twisted up when I move into here? But if I stall to the other side, my arms are already part of the cross-uncross of the 3-beat. So if you stall across your body, you're already set up because you're already in the same position as a 3-beat. You're doing great, man. You're doing great, by the way. This is awesome.
Yeah, I got it though.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's four different ways you can spin 2 chucks, right? We've got opposite direction going downward if we're looking at my chest. This is the one that a lot of people will use when we're doing butterflies or thread the needles. It's not the most commonly used ones for double chucks, because the chasing motion is a very difficult one to go downwards. But this is often one that we start with or get stuck with, so usually you end up doing butterflies. Probably the most popular ones is where they're going the same direction, either way, clockwise or counterclockwise. They're going this way. And so basically what that means is if we're doing this and we pull it to the outside, you can see one's clockwise and one's counterclockwise. All we have to do is stall one, and that changes the direction. So if I stall this one, then they're both going clockwise, which would mean I would have to turn this direction for a figure 8, or if I turn the opposite direction to the left, it would have to be a reverse figure 8. So that's just how it always works. If it's going this direction, it's the exact opposite. So I just change it. So if I turn this way, now left is the figure 8, well, the 3-beat weave, and right is the reverse 3-beat weave, right? And then we have the last one, which is the most popular one. Obviously, if both the chucks are going downwards for the butterfly, when they're both going upwards, this is where we have the split opposite hand rolls. And of course, we also have the reverse butterflies. So no matter what, once 2 chucks are spinning, it's always one of those 4 points, and that's always something to consider whenever you're spinning, because you can never do split opposite hand rolls like this unless both chucks are spinning upwards towards the chest. That's what allows you to go upwards with the whole swing. If they're going downwards and you try to go upwards, you'll change the direction of the chuck just because it's meant to go down. So those are really important to know. And the coolest thing about that is you can always do it with stalls, bounces, or stops. You know, like an easy way to do it if you don't know how to get into a move is you just turn to the side and do 2 clutches. From here, you can do anything. You do have to kind of get used to like how you're going to get into the move. But if you go into 2 clutches, you can pretty much get out of it. You're going to have to kind of swing out creatively, but it'll let you get into whatever move you want. Like if we want to go to the side, you have to kind of wing it a little bit, but 2 clutches will always allow you to do whatever you want from there. You know, you can basically, you just have to think it either has to go this way or it has to go this way. Now, if it goes this way, it's a very awkward motion. You can see like, usually with the clutch, it's a lot easier to go with your armpit, but it's not impossible. You just have to kind of swing the arm out and over to get it to go the opposite way. So if I wanted to go into a weave, it'd kind of look like that. Clutch, clutch. Wanted to go into a weave, here. Or to make it easier, if you want to go into a weave, just move it over to the top of your head like this. This will give you more options to swing it down into a weave. So sometimes it's double clutches. Other times you can just move it up like this and then get your weave started that way. Here. From here, like going into reverse is a little bit easier from the armpits. Anywhere where your 2 chucks are stopped, though, is going to allow you to go in any direction. So you know there's only 3 other patterns, right? Because I said there's 4. This is one. To access one pattern, you just stall across your body here, and you go into that 3-beat weave, right? You already know that one. To access the other pattern, you just stall the other side. Do your other hand to stall, and go into 3-beat weave on the other side. That changes directions of the chucks. So they're both going clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise. And then to access the last one, you just stall both of them. And then you come back up and they've reversed direction. So you either stall the left, you stall the right, or you double stall, and you have access to all 4 points, no matter where you are. We go here, we do the double stall, and then from there we can go straight into the split opposites. The reason why I want to show that to you is, again, in the future, when you're doing your 3-beat, the buzzsaw actually is a very like natural progression into it. So when we're doing this motion and we pause it and we go to the side, going into that buzzsaw is actually right there. It's just like right there in the buzzsaw. Keep these as close as possible by holding them upside down. So instead of doing figure 8s outside your body, hold the nunchucks upside down and pull it by the hips like this. Boom, like that. And then the second thing we started working on was horizontal figure 8s like this. And the way that we want to really work it is to make sure that we do a full circle above the arm and below it, making sure it's locked out. And then they're going to chase each other. 1, 2, and stop. And then 1, 2, and stop. 1, 2, stop. 1, 2. Eventually, it'll just be boom, boom, boom. They're always just always slightly ahead of the other. Eventually, we'll get our hands close. But to start, you can have it far away.